my Fire Legions, your Fire King Renegade here, coming at you with part 3 of What If Deku Had the Blacklight Virus. So, yeah, I got nothing to say. Let's just get into the shit. Oh, actually, yeah, I do have something to say. I'm making a Modern Warfare funny / epic moments, and I just want to say, I'm gonna say this in the Modern Warfare video too, but there's going to be some moments from a local game I did that I was just by myself in because for some reasons I could not connect to the servers. So I just loaded up the local game and I just faced some bots. So I got some pretty nasty quickscopes in it, and I just felt like, yeah, I gotta show these. Like, there were some pretty good moments, so I was just like, it would be a waste not to show them. So yeah. Just wanted to let you guys know that. I'm also going to let you guys know in the other video. I'm still working on getting more clips because it's mostly just epic moments. I got like one funny moment, and that's when my friends found out about my YouTube channel. Let's just say, it's a treat. I enjoyed it. So anyways, yeah. So, last time I left off, the hero came... Deku, Bakugo, and, Deku and Bakugo had faced the hero, Killer Stain, and let him go, pretending to be on the ground. So, Deku, he gets yelled at. He tells the police dog to fuck off. Police dog doesn't. Deku retorts. Police dog says, "Thank you for saving Native." He says, "You're welcome." And Deku says, "You at me again, I'm gonna knock your teeth out." And he says that's not a threat, that's a promise. And, the police dog is just like, okay then. So, for the rest of the internships, Deku is just thinking about what he can use his powers for. And Deku thinks of something clever. So, everyone gets back to school, they're told about the final exam, and classes continue on as normal, but the week before the final exam, they're going to have off. They're going to give the students a week off to see what they want to do. See what they use this time for. See if they use it wisely. See if they use it just to goof off. And Deku talks to Luna and asks, "Hey, do you want to study, train together, and, just all around have a good time?" Luna would say, "I actually have an idea." They get all of Class 1A together except Mineta, because Mineta can go die in a very heavy fire. And you'll see why. Deku... So Deku comes up with a plan we can use the mornings to study for the written part and everything. Kind of use a bit of the afternoon for, like, just goofing off, like, from 12 to 2. And then, for the evening up from 3 to 5, they can use to train, and then just use the rest of the night to kind of just rest and relax. And, everyone agrees to this plan, but they need a place to do it. And Luna mentions that her family owns a beach house with 19 bedrooms. Everyone realizes, like, 19 bedrooms, normal would count and say, but there's 20 of us. And, Deku would just say, I'll sleep on the couch if there's one. Or I'll sleep in the garage, whatever. So, yeah. So, the week training, Deku decides to try to make a Blacklight animals. And he makes a Blacklight direwolf. Now, Deku realizes he can also make personalities for these animals if he so well chooses. I'm going to explain what the Blacklight direwolf does. The Blacklight direwolf, Deku makes a personality and he names it Rex. The Blacklight direwolf is extremely nice, he's friendly and everything. Unless, Rex is like Riley from Call of Duty Ghosts, pretty much. If you played that game. He's a good boy, and he'll tear your throat out if Deku tells him to. Anyways. So, Deku... What Rex can do is he can multiply himself times 20, basically. So, he can have a pack up to 20 wolves. Rex would be the lead, so that's 21 dire wolves. So, yeah. And, Deku can have Rex kind of connected to him. Like, since they're one and the same, they basically have a symbiotic relationship. So Deku can look through Rex's eyes, and Rex can look through Deku's eyes. Also, whenever Deku needs Rex to, not be visible to the public, basically Rex will just combine with Deku. But if Deku sees that it's not needed for Rex to kind of be, for them to be connected and combined together, Deku will just have Rex uncombined. So, Rex is more like a pet to Deku than anything. Deku knows Rex can't get hurt, but yet he will protect that dog with his life. Because Deku cares for Rex. And, that would be on the third day of their week training. Deku would kind of, just be hanging out with Rex, playing fetch with him. And, no one in Class 1A knows about Rex yet. Because Deku just made him while he was in the forest. Because, I'm going to say Deku was getting frustrated with a few people there because they were being extremely annoying because they kept saying, like, blah, 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 this, that, just all around arguing over some stupid shit. So Deku kind of went off on his own for a bit. When Deku comes back with Rex, everyone's a little shocked at Rex. Also, Rex doesn't look like some type of zombie dog. He looks like a normal, everyday direwolf. He looks like, it looks like a normal, animal. It's not like zombified. It also just has black fur. And the eyes are red when Deku tells him to go kill something, but most of the time the eyes will be blue. So, unless Deku gives the order to attack, Rex's eyes are blue. So, when everyone sees Rex, they're all kind of confused on how Deku tamed it. And, Deku would explain how he made Rex. Rex, a lot of people would be afraid of Rex, but, Luna wouldn't be. She'd just go up and pet Rex. Again, Rex will respond like a normal dog. It's not like he's under the control of Deku. He gave it a personality. So, yeah. So Deku would kind of explain, like, what Rex can do and stuff. And, Deku would, during their afternoon training, would work with Rex to make combo moves that would kind of involve the two of them. And, Deku would use himself as a distraction for Rex to come up behind and attack the enemy. Grabbing him by the arm and, incapacitating them. And, Deku would obviously heal anyone's wounds from Rex when fighting. Because, again, Deku can heal people. He healed All Might. So, that's why everyone doesn't mind training and pushing themselves super hard and getting injured. Because they know Deku's here to, heal them if they get injured too bad. So, they're not afraid to push themselves. Which they do just that. So, everyone is a lot stronger than their canon counterpart. Skip tonight, Deku and Rex, they're asleep. Like, they're both conked out on the couch. Everyone's asleep, and, Rex just pops up his head because he hears he hears glass shatter. And Rex would pop up his head, and, he'd nudge Deku, and Deku would wake up and be like, what? And, he'd hear the window slide open, and Deku would be like, Deku would just give the order to sick him. And, next thing you know, you just hear an ear-shattering scream come from the kitchen. And this voice sounds vaguely familiar. Everyone would run toward the kitchen and they'd see Mineta being pinned down by Rex. And Deku's just like, okay, how did he find out? And everyone would realize that Mineta would have been eavesdropping. Also, Shinso would just, ask Mineta a question. Mineta would be like, what? And, Shinso would put him on mind control and say, how did you figure out about our training idea? Mineta would just say, I eavesdropped on you guys. Deku would just be like, of course he did. So, Shinso would make Mineta walk home and go to bed. Deku would obviously heal the bite wound so he wouldn't get in trouble. And yeah, that's just something I wanted to add. Deku would be like, of course. Mineta would have a note pinned to him saying, you gotta replace the window, jackass. Written by yours truly. Deku would have written it. So yeah, that's really what they did all week. They just studied and trained and had some fun. It was a beach house. Private property owned, so they could use the course as much as they wanted. And all that good stuff. Might be. Hold on. Oh, let me just pop. Okay. I basically set my thing to portrait mode. So that way, it won't do that. Because I'm readjusting myself because I'm a little on the flip side. Sorry about my fan too. Just kind of readjusting myself because I wanted to lay down. So, the final exam would come up. Everyone's grade are in the high 80s, low 90s area. So, all except Mineta. Mineta, he barely passed his written part. Barely. He was 1 point above the passing grade. And everyone, the training part goes a little differently. Not the training part, the practical part. It's all of Class 1A versus all the teachers. So, everyone would be coming up with an idea. Mineta wouldn't listen. So, Mineta gets immediately wrecked. He's gone. Deku would come up with a plan. Just grab the teachers from the shadows. Because, I'm going to say they were inside a pretty big building. Deku would suggest use the shadows to our advantage. And that's what they would do. And they would win. So everybody but Mineta passed. Because they all listened to Deku. So, yeah. So, summer camp time. Training, summer, whatever it was called. I'm too lazy to try to figure out what it was called. So, the training camp starts off as usual, Deku is sitting in the back of the bus with Luna and Rex, as usual. The school would allow Deku to have Rex out. Also, yes, Rex did play a role in fighting the teachers. Rex was pretty much a distraction. Rex would balk, kind of confuse the teachers, and boom. They get taken out easily. Either balk or howl, one of the two. And it just confused the hell out of the teachers. Because they're like, wait, when did a dog or a wolf get on the premises? So, they'd think like, alright, I'll go capture it real quick and put it back out into the wild. And, they would get jumped by the students. I'm talking about I'm talking about we coming to beat your ass type shit. Crap, what game do you get jumped? Shit. I think Yakuza had something like that. A system like that where you get jumped by random enemies on the streets at times. Am I right? Or am I wrong? I don't know. But, it was like, we're gonna steal your money, bitch type shit, though. I'm just trying, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people would be offended by the way I say it like that. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying, but that's what happened, pretty much. Just KO'd. So, the teachers would allow Rex, Deku to keep Rex uncombined, and, Deku and Rex just, they're just chilling. Luna, she's petting Rex as per usual. when they get there, Deku wakes Luna up because he's just kind of like, oh, we're here. She wouldn't be waking up from Deku nudging her, so Rex would obviously lick her, to wake her up. Just kind of lick her in the face. If you have a dog and like you're usually asleep, sometimes it would lick you to wake you up. An online friend of mine has a dog who when the alarm clock's going off and he ain't waking up, the dog will lick him. So dogs are very, very helpful people. That's why they're considered man's best friend, because they're just very helpful. Anyways, so when there's the bust, Rex is kind of like, he's kind of on edge, and he starts to growl at where the I think it's the Wow Pussycats. I don't exactly remember their name. It's something cats. Honestly, they're just a bunch of extras to me. Basically, anyone that isn't in Class 1A, or that hasn't pissed me off, or is a part of the League of Villains, and had a major storyline plot to them, they're just a bunch of extras. Like, that's all they are to me. And if I'm offending your favorite character, I'm sorry, but it's true. They're just a bunch of extras. Just some plot devices to get the story rolling. The main focus is Deku and of Class 1A pretty much. So the Wow Pussycats, I think that's them. I could be completely wrong though. I don't know. I'll look it up sometime later. Also, I woke up at, it's 8:27 now. I probably woke up maybe an hour ago too, somewhere around there. So I'm still waking up a bit. Shocker. I like how I don't talk about sleep. I don't yawn. Once I start talking about it, I yawn. Whatever. So everyone, they would be looking at Rex and they'd say, oh, so I guess that's part of his quirk. Because, Deku's standing by Rex and he's telling him to calm down, which he does. Wow Pussycats, they drop him, Deku would just say, let's not go through there. Mineta again wouldn't listen. He'd go through the forest instead of following Deku, who leads him on the safe path. And Mineta never reaches the training camp, which kind of sends the teachers into the worries a little bit, because a student went missing. So they are searching for Mineta, but they haven't found him yet. Koda, Deku would see Koda kind of sulking. Deku would just walk up to Koda and kind of ask him, yo, you okay, man? Koda would say, his normal lines, but, instead of punching Deku in the dick, Deku would have dodged it. He's like, don't try that shit, kid. Deku would just say, listen, if something bad happened to you with heroes, I don't blame you for hating heroes, but don't let that one bad experience ruin your view on heroes. And Koda would say if his parents didn't become heroes, they'd still be alive. Deku would explain this. Heroes do this not because no one else can. They do it because they want to. They do it so people don't have to suffer to save them, to make their life, to make sure other people are at ease. And if a hero dies saving people, then that's their job. Is to lay their life on the line for the will of others, for the good of others, to protect them. Koda would kind of look at Deku and say, it's stupid that parents have to sacrifice themselves as well. And Deku would say simply this. Just think of what your parents would want you to do. Would they want you to become a villain because they tried to protect someone, or would they want you to become a hero? And follow in their footsteps. And, Koda would take those words to heart. So, Koda would be nicer toward Class 1A. Class 1B would show up. Monma would start off on his bullshit. I also remember the names of my punching bags. Punching bags is plural, so, meet Monma. Another great punching bag, which I enjoy just having get his shit destroyed. Because, it's fun. And, Monma would start making fun of Koda. Making fun of how his parents died. And, Deku would just, start his relationship with the ground. And their relationship is very intimate. No threat, he just fucking decked him and, destroyed him into the ground. And, no one cared because he was being mean to Koda. He actually gets yelled at by the teachers and, he's got to do what Mineta would have had to do. How, the extra training and shit. Like, that's his punishment. Anyways, skipping to the night of the attack. Since Koda and everything doesn't go to his area, Deku doesn't need to save him. And the whole haunted forest thing, they decided to cancel because, it was raining that night. Some unexpected rain came in. The forest would be on fire, a blue fire. Everyone would say, stay here. Pro Heroes would go check it out, That would. And Muscular would come busting through the wall. Deku would deck the Muscular into the side of the mountain. Muscular is KO'd. Yeah, that wasn't that hard. But, a bunch of villains would start flooding in. And, the students would be fighting. Deku would be trouncing the Tooth Guy, Toga, and Dabi. The fake one. And, Luna would get grabbed by another villain with an arm stretching quirk. That villain would, Luna would get grabbed and Deku would start, running after Luna. And when Deku gets there, he sees three villains. He sees Mr. Compress, Dabi, the real one, and the arm-stretching villain, Mineta. That's right, Mineta is the UA trader. And hold on. I want to give a shout out to this guy right here, Hamain El Wazia. I think that's how I pronounce your name. My bad, dude. You kind of had this for the Alucard one, but I decided to put it in my Blacklight virus one instead, because you're gonna see. So yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to him for the idea. So Deku would, would charge Mineta. Luna would have been compressed into that little ball thing, like. And, Deku would see that, and he'd start going after Mr. Compress instead. Forgetting about Mineta. But Mineta would be fighting Deku. And, Toga would show back up with, Uraraka's blood. Dabi would say how much you get. She'd say one person, and, they'd be trying to go through the portal. And Deku would be trying to stop him. But Mineta would keep getting in the way. And, Mineta would once again would be attacked by Rex. But before Deku can grab Mr. Compress, Dabi would hit Deku with fire. And, that would send him flying back. And Kirigiri would close the portal, and Luna is the one that gets kidnapped instead of Bakugo. And Deku is furious. And if All Might didn't show up when he did, Mineta would have been dead. Like, Deku is literally about to cut Mineta's head off with the blade arm. But All Might, grabs Deku's arm and stops him. And, the police start interrogating Mineta, trying to find where the League of Villains are. And, All Might and Deku are in the police station because Deku doesn't give a shit. He's gonna save Luna. You can't stop him. And, Deku says he knows one way to find Luna fast enough. And, he would tell All Might, though, it requires killing that purple great head motherfucker. And, All Might would say no to this. But, Deku would ask at least, can he try interrogating him? And, Deku would take a very Batman approach to this. He's beating Mineta around the fucking room. Smashing his head against the glass, smashing him up against walls, hitting his head against the table, shit like that. And, Mineta would have this smirk on his face saying, it's funny that you think you'd make me talk like this. And, he'd say, by the time I talk, it would be too late. She'd already be one of us. And, when Deku hears that, the intercoms comes on. And he just hears the police chief and All Might say, do it. And Deku knows what he means by that. And, Mineta's like, what do they mean by do it? And, Deku just creates the claws and, like James Heller did to Alex Mercer, would consume him. And it is a bloody, bloody mess in that interrogation room. And, Deku would have the location of the League of Villains base. No one knew about Deku's quirk being able to do that except Deku. Because, remember, he consumed the Nomu. He's the only one that knew about it. If I said someone else knew, retcon, my bad. But, Deku, All Might would just tell Deku to go, we'll catch up with you. And, Deku would give them the location as well. And Deku's already off. And, at the League of Villains base, they're trying to convince Luna to join. And, they would say that no one's going to come to rescue her. Not even, Alex. Only, trying to make her lose faith. And, I'm going to say they had some guy that was good with computers, and they decided to Photoshop Alex's face onto someone else. And they would show him with another girl. But, Luna knows that it's not Alex because they forgot something. He always has his hoods up, and he never leaves home without his leather jacket. So, yeah. The only time he has his hood down is when he's with Luna. And he still has the leather jacket, too. So, Luna isn't buying shit. And, Luna says, when Alex gets here, you're all fucked. And, Shigaraki would say he'll never find, and that's when the wall just straight gets demolished. And speak of the devil, and I called Deku Alex. Jesus Christ. Wow. I got so off track. Well, I was on track, but I was so on track that I forgot, hey, Deku is still Izuku Midoriya, not Alex Mercer. It's just the way I was talking about him. Oh my god. I probably just confused the whole lot of you. And I'm sorry for that. That's my fault. I started talking way too fast and I kind of mixed some things up. But yeah. So Deku would bust through the wall, in his armor. And, he would just straight up knocked Kirigiri out, knocked Toga out, knocked Compressed out. Twice in Toga are trapped under some rubble, and he has Shigaraki by the throat. And Deku just slams Shigaraki to the ground, and he says, he starts cutting Luna free. But before Deku can react, All For One pulls his bullshit and does his little teleportation thing. And they do know about the Nomu hangar and shit, and that there was a tracking device placed on the Nomu. And Deku would immediately realize where she was teleported to. So Deku, he's already off to the Nomu hangar. He would inform the police and stuff that, someone teleported them away and that wasn't Kirigiri. There's another villain with the teleportation quirk. And when he gets to the Nomu hangar, All For One's there. All For One just gets a straight fist to the head. Like, Deku just straight knocked the shit out of All For One. And All For One and Deku and Luna would start fighting. And Deku and Luna have All For One pretty much beat. He's on the ground. He's pretty much beat. Shigaraki, he's also kind of winded still from the ass whooping Deku gave him. Toga, Dabi, they're still trying to catch their bearings from getting hit with a wall. Twice, Dabi's knocked out with Compress and Kirigiri. And all in all, it looks like the heroes have won. And All For One would take this time to explain to Deku who his father is. All For One would just play the old so tragic trump card, I am your father. Deku would just simply say, I don't give a shit who you are. You aren't escaping. And All Might would arrive there, and he'd see All For One KO'd, and he'd be congratulating Deku and Luna. And this is when All For One plays a dirty trick. Remember how I said Mineta had a stretching quirk? All For One used the same quirk to knock Luna into a wall. And that wall was broken down. And it had a piece of rebar sticking out. And if you guys have played The Last of Us, this is a spoiler by the way, so, skip ahead a few minutes. In The Last of Us, Joel got knocked off of a high place and got impaled by a piece of rebar. The same thing happens to Luna. She gets knocked through a wall and she's impaled. But only it's a lot closer to her heart. It looks like it killed her. And All For One runs over along with Deku. Not All For One. All Might and Deku run over to her to see if she's okay. And it looks like she's dead. There's no way to tell that her pulse is okay or not. And Deku isn't thinking completely straight. Luna is still alive. And she is going to be fine. All Might's got pressure on the wound now. But Deku loses it. And if you guys thought All Might crushing the Nomu was bad, Deku straight destroys All For One. He's not even holding back. He's using the claws, the hammer fist, the whip fist, the blade arm. He's not human at that point. Deku isn't. He's not holding back. And when All For One sees Deku use the claws for the first time, he realizes what he has. Deku is saying that he's gonna kill him and shit like that, and Deku will remember this. It's not like he's blinded by rage. He will remember this. It's just that his rage has finally reached its breaking point. You know, All For One would explain Deku has the Blacklight virus. And, you know, what it is and who had it before him. And, you know, he would explain that his great-great-grandfather on his mother's side was Alex Mercer. Because Alex Mercer and James Heller are only one of the few people in the world who has it. And James Heller, yes, had a kid, but the way Deku's Blacklight virus, it's more leaning toward Alex Mercer's kind of tone of skin of it. You know, it's more, it doesn't have the, you know, it's more leaning toward the, you know, kind of like, you know, less spiky, you know. Some of Deku's weapons look like Alex Mercer's, others look like James Heller. But basically, the Blacklight virus in Deku is more, you know, All For One has a quirk, I'm going to say, that kind of can track genetics, and, you know, no matter what it is. So, All For One can figure out which Blacklight virus Deku's powers lean more to. Which his powers lean more to, James Heller or Alex Mercer. And his powers lean toward Alex Mercer. So, you know. Yeah. But Deku, during the fight with All For One, Deku destroys All For One, as I said before. But it's basically James Heller versus Alex Mercer all over again. Only more one-sided. Deku cuts All For One's legs off. He cuts his arms off. He's beating the shit out of All For One. Like, imagine All Might's punches, but to the Nomu's face, over and over and over again. And, you know, like I said, Deku can carry over 10 million tons. 10 million... Deku can carry over 10 million tons. It didn't sound like that to me, so I had to repeat myself. But the way Deku finishes All For One off is not by consuming him, not by cutting his head off, but by predatoring the man. Like, he just grabs All For One's head by the throat and just rips his head off, spine and all. And just like that, All For One's dead. But that was also broadcasted live on TV. So everyone saw that. Class 1A, the entire world, saw the symbol of evil die. In a very brutal fashion. But the world doesn't cower in fear of Deku. They're afraid of him, but they're more cheering him on because he did something that All Might wouldn't do. He crossed the line to protect people. Like, he crossed that line. And in Deku's eyes, All For One is a mass murderer. Killing people to gain his own. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Left off. All For One's dead. Alright, so as I said before, no one's afraid of Deku. Because everyone's happy that the symbol of evil is dead. Kirigiri still woke up and teleported everyone away, though. And, you know, All Might is sitting by Luna at the moment. And Deku kind of remembers, like, oh yeah, that's right, I can heal people. Oh shit, that's right, I can heal people. So, you know, he acts fast, heals Luna, she's fine, you know, that's that. You know, everyone's okay, except for All For One. He's dead, you know. Deku looks at All For One's body, he's like, oh, I'm so going to prison for that one. And, the police show up on the scene, and, Deku is half expecting to be arrested here. He's not going to bring it up to the police. He's just going to be like, alright, if they ask me to put my hands behind my back, I will. But it never happens, which confuses Deku. Everyone's happy the symbol of evil is dead, and, it kind of just confuses Deku. Deku's sitting in the hospital room with Luna, because, as usual, Deku, just wants to be by Luna and make sure she's okay. And, Luna asks Deku if she likes him. If he likes her. Yeah, fuck. Deku would say yes, he likes her. And, she'd say that she likes him too, and, they would kiss. And they would have happy moments. And, he'd just be sitting by her, making sure she was going to be okay. The police chief would walk in. Deku would be like, shit. Okay, well, I'll see you in God knows how many years. Deku's, already expecting the worst. And, the police chief just says this: on behalf of the entire ward, we thank you for taking care of Awful One. And Deku takes a double take and like, wait, no, put your hands behind the back. You're under arrest for the murder of Awful One. You have the right to remain silent, anything like that. And, the police chief is like, no. The news stations put it to a vote whether this hero that took care of the symbol of evil should be arrested or not. And 90% of the population said you should not be arrested. And, Deku's looking at this like, the bullet I dodged is extremely lucky. Luna's mom would come into there and, she'd start bitching, about how you should never become a hero and you should only focus on your mind and clear, blah, 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 this, that. And, Deku's looking at Luna's mother like, this is what heroes do. They get hurt in the line of duty. And, this is the first time Luna's mother actually kind of bent like, alright, no, I gotta put my foot down here. And, she's saying that, she's not going to be going to UA anymore, and that's when Deku is just like, alright, no. No. You listen here, you dumb motherfucker. Deku goes off on Luna's mother a bit too harsh. Deku would be saying that Luna is a great hero. And she did her job to help defeat Awful One and the symbol of evil and protect people. Heroes get hurt in the line of duty. Trust me, I should know better. I basically died, Deku would say. But you don't see my mother going, hey, you can't become a hero anymore. She's still letting me follow my dreams because that's what I want to do. So, how about you tone down your mother dial from 200 back down to your little 5, and you come back to reality real quick. And Luna's mother would punch Deku across the face. Deku would not feel a thing, and he'd be like, everyone, Luna, the police chief, All Might is looking at Deku like, is he gonna kill her, or is he just gonna beat her ass? Like, what's gonna happen here? Deku would be like, hit me again, and you're going to see what pavement looks like after you fall off from 11 stories. And, Luna's mother kind of realizes, like, oh, I fucked up. Because, she's kind of remembering, like, oh, yeah, that's right, he killed Awful One. Oh, he killed Awful One. He killed Awful One, that's right, that's not good. She kind of just does a double take, apologizes, and leaves the room. All Might would go out to talk to his wife, they'd have a tiny little argument, nothing that's divorce-worthy. Just saying, like, that's her dream and she wants to follow it, we can't stop her, shit like that. And, All Might All Might doesn't want her to become a hero, but he knows if he tries to stop her, she's just going to pursue it more and be less talkative to them. Especially since Deku's around, because, they just started dating and, they ain't going to let anything separate them again. Like, fuck that. Police would say that she has to be under constant 24-hour watch. Because, she was a kidnapped victim of the League of Villains. So, the hospital would say, Luna, you're free to go and shit, and Deku would be like, alright, get dressed, and, meet me down by my bike. And, Luna and All Might, Luna's mother and All Might look at Deku like, bitch, what? And, Deku's like, what? And, they say, why did you say meet her by a bike? She's got to come home with us. And Deku's like, nope, she's coming with me. And, Luna would say, yeah, I'm going with him. Because they would have made plans to go back to Deku's house before All Might came in. And All Might's like, oh, hell no, young lady, you're coming home. And Deku's like, bitch, no, she's coming with me. Who do you think can protect her easier, me or you? And, All Might starts to think for a good minute. Letting his, dad go, go back, kind of veer off a bit before, rearing its head again. But he'd be like, no, she's coming with us. She's our daughter. And Deku would say, she's my girlfriend. I can protect her better than you. No offense. All Might would say, no, you can't. You don't even have a provisional license. And Deku would say, I just killed my father. And, when Deku says that, Deku kind of realizes, like, God damn it, I called him my father. And, Deku would say, All Might would say, yes, he's your father. But you never had a dad. And Deku would say, yeah, I didn't. Congratulations for pointing something out. And, Deku would then proceed to argue with All Might, All Might arguing with Deku, Luna's mother arguing with Deku, and Deku just being like, fine, take her with you then. And, Deku walks out the room and just, gives a little hand signal to meet him by his bike. Luna, she climbs out the, she climbs out the window and, they drive to Deku's house. And, when Luna's mother and All Might go to grab Luna from her room after she got dressed, they see she's not there and that the window's open. And All Might's just like, God damn it. And, All Might's like, he does know that we know where he lives, right? And, that's the thing, though. Deku's house, they don't go to that. Like, they go to like, Luna's family's beach house to hang out there till school started back up within 3 days. And, they'd be like, okay, he's not here. They were smart. So, for the next 3 days, All Might's looking for Luna, not realizing that, hey, they probably went to the beach house. Deku and Luna, they just grow together as a relationship, have movie night and all that, just have a grand old time. The dorm's getting stated, Deku's mom signed off on it. She told Deku that, hey, you can go to the dorms. All Might, she's going to the dorms either way. All Might would still put her in the dorms. So yeah, Deku and Luna, they would show up at school and they'd be like, All Might would look at Luna like, okay, where were you guys exactly? Because All Might's, and, it's kind of like, alright, it's kind of a dumb question to have her come back with us since, even though, yes, I can protect her, Deku can literally become a human shield. And, All Might kind of forgets that Deku can be a human shield and not die. So, with that being said, All Might would just, say, thank you for protecting my daughter to Deku, and, he'd yell at Luna for, running away with Deku, and yell at Deku for stealing Luna, basically, just having that, whole father thing going on, and Deku would say, you done being the father and ready to being back to the teacher? All Might would just say, yes. dorms would get instated, and Aizawa would do the whole thing, and say that, oh yeah, meet your new classmate, Kendo, whatever the last name is of her. Well, you thought I was gonna put Monoma in class 1A? You're fired. Nah, just kidding. You guys aren't fired. I'm never gonna fire you, my Fire Legion. Yeah, I can't do a J. Jonah Jameson impression, but that's pretty much what I went for. Someone just give me a cigar and boom. There you go. Spider-Man's a menace! Okay, I gotta stop. Anyways, moving on. As I would say that, girls and boys sleep in separate dorm rooms. And, All Might would, show up out of nowhere and say, that girls and dorms do have separate dorm rooms, but it's up to you if any of you are in a relationship, if you guys want to sleep together. Because, I'm going to say Bakugo and Uraraka started dating before Deku and Luna, so they've been in a relationship for a good few months now. So, Bakugo and Uraraka are just like, oh, sweet. You just had to have your parents sign off on something. And Deku's like, oh, God, how are we going to get them to sign off on that? And, Luna's like, Luna's thinking like, okay, well, it shouldn't be that hard. And, Deku's thinking like, no, we can get my mother to sign off easily on it. She doesn't worry about me at all. I literally texted her, hey, I'm going to be staying with you for the 3 days. And, she was just like, okay, whatever, just be safe. Your parents, however, are pissed off at you. And me. And, Deku's realizing that All Might planned this. And he's like, you son of a bitch. All Might's just got a shit-eating grin on his face. And Deku's like, oh, but you've forgotten something, didn't you? And, they forged Luna's mother's signature, made a whole fake thing. Deku even recorded her voice on Luna's phone and All Might at the same time. Because Deku, he can impersonate people's voices and copy their handwriting with ease. So Deku's just like, I got this. So, All Might's looking at the paper like, wait, when did I sign off on this? And when did my wife sign off on this? And they realize like, those All Might would realize that son of a bitch. Deku and Luna, they're moving into their dorm, and like, All Might kind of, appears in the doorway, and Deku's just got his own shit-eating grin on him, and he's like, so, how you doing, All Might? And All Might's just like, I'm going to allow this because you managed to beat me. But don't think for a second I won't beat your ass in the next training session we have. And Deku says good luck with that. Because again, everyone forgets, Deku straight ripped All For One's spine and head off. And Deku's just thinking like, why do they keep forgetting that I'm the one that killed All For One? No, because Deku's got that clout. He's got the shit to say, yo, I'm better than All Might. There's even news stories saying the prototype, the next #1 hero. And Deku's just like, yeah, fuck you bitches. Monoma, he tried to say some bullshit, but Deku would just say, and who killed All For One, pussy? And Monoma would shut his ass up. Kendo joins Class 1A, she's welcomed with open arms too. Like, no one yells at her or anything. They had a replacement at her. No. I'm gonna say, Kendo and, Sugar Boy were hanging out a lot. They just tend to talk to each other. But yeah. So, All Might, during the class, All Might would say, we're going to be working on special abilities today. And, Deku would be like, what? And, All Might will explain you guys are going to be trying out for your provisional license and stuff. And, all that. And Deku's thinking like, oh, okay. So, during their time of training for the super moves, this is where Deku unlocks his first Devastator, the Ground Spike. Now, Deku has it on a less lethal version of Alex Mercer's, but it can still do some damage. Deku also makes the Tendrils one where they explode out of him, and the Biomass Palm Blaster, I think it's called. I don't know. I forget the name of it, though. Luna would, I forgot to mention this, but Luna would use her mother's quirk, which was basically useless, combined it with Off One to make, basically laser blasts. And, she can set them to a frequency of stunning to straight up put a hole through your chest. And, Luna and Deku would actually make some tag team moves as well. Along with Rex, because you guys gotta remember, Rex is still a thing. No, I'm not gonna forget the boy Rex. But yeah, so during the provisional license exam, Deku, Luna, and Rex, they get off the bus around the same time, I mean, everyone from the other schools recognizes Luna, and, they start flooding her, and Deku's just like, ah, shit. Deku just kind of steps in front of Luna, because, she doesn't want to deal with any bullshit right now, and Deku doesn't blame her. And, Deku's, and, they kind of realize Deku's powers, because, he kind of put his shield up, because, one of them's straight up charging at him, and they'd see that Deku has the Blacklight virus, and they'd say, oh, look, it's the prototype, and Deku would be like, ah, shit. Deku just realizing now he fucked up. Those two just rush into the building. Deku's like, I fucked up, didn't I? And Luna's like, oh, yeah. And Deku's like, God damn it. Okay. They just get ready. Provisional license exam. Class 1A passes. No problem. They all stick together as a group and easily dominate the other schools. No competition. No competition. They get destroyed. Or as I like to say, well, not I like to say, but as Wildcat would like to say, destroyed, dog-eared, butt-fucked, get raw dogged, you dog shit idiots. As Wildcat would say. Also, I may have some parts of me being a little toxic in Modern Warfare. Also, I'm going to say this. If you're using the M4, overkilling it with a shotgun, especially the 7.25, you are a garbage human being. I want to tell you guys that right now. If you're one of those people that use that kind of class, you're garbage as a human being. So, if you ever find me in Modern Warfare and you want to piss me off, by all means, do that. Promise you that much. You will piss me off. So you know. Yeah. Just saying though. I will then switch to my MP7 class and just start dumpstering your entire team. Because that thing, I don't need to aim down sights with. I've made it hip fire. I can't hip fire across the map, but I can still hip fire you from medium to short range. So, yeah. If you want to win the game, don't do that. Don't piss me off. Because I will then start trying if you do that. Piss me off, I start trying. Don't piss me off, I try to have fun and just try to use the sniper a lot. And sometimes I will still start trying with the sniper and I will still win. Just depends on the map. Like, if it's like Ramazan or something, like, then I'm not even going to try to snipe. Because fuck that. Any other map I usually try to snipe. Like Rust. I shouldn't, but I do. Because it's fun. Anyways, moving on. I'm getting off topic. So, the fight, everyone's moving stuff, saving people, and, Deku would explain to Class 1A, we can't just work on our own. We have to work with other students. And, everyone would be rescuing people and all that, and Deku would see Gang Orca and the villain attack thing, and Deku would say, Luna, you're with me, let's go stop Gang Orca. And they'd be like, and she'd be like, right. And Deku and Luna stop Gang Orca just like that. No problem. The villains are taken out with ease by other people. Everyone gets their license. No one failed. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna end this one here. Okay, that's another what if I had planned. If you guys know what anime that's from and you know what it is, then you guys should know the what if. But anyways, if you guys have enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, turn on notifications so you next know when I post. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Join my Discord so you can come talk to me and suggest your ideas for my what ifs. If you want to get a shout out and stuff, I also got some roast. I got a roast thing too. If you want to roast some My Hero Academia characters and you want to be, you want to get a shout out, put in that one too. There's another one I plan on using eventually. I just gotta get to it. But yeah, my Fire Legion, keep your fires burning, and I'll see you all in the next one.